Caesar snack sandwich. Today I have a really quick video for you on Origami. Origami has a new system out here. They're calling it the second Fold V2. So as usual, I suggest you to come read the docs, try to understand it, verify some of the things I'm saying. I'm basing this video purely on reading these docs here and explaining it to you. I do have a flowchart for you, so I'll kind of get into it. Currently, right now, there's not a lot of opportunities here in the sense of options. There's currently two vaults open right now. One where you can deposit Ethena USDE or staked Ethena USDE. So I'll kind of get into these a little bit on the flowchart, but I'll also talk about some of the other options that they talk about inside here, which is staked ETH as well. Okay, so let's swing over to the flowchart now. Okay, so here we are on the flowchart. We have dollar bill. He's got some Lido staked ETH, wrapped stake ETH actually. Some USDE from Ethena or SUSDE from Ethena. Okay. Now, these are the options that the docs currently talk about, but on the website, only the Ethena stablecoins are currently available to deposit. Okay, so I'm going to use the stablecoin as examples through this flowchart, but know that in the future there will be other vaults and other opportunities. Okay. Okay, so he goes to Origami and he wants to deposit it. It's a pretty straightforward process for a dollar bill here. He just simply deposits his stable coins or his staked stable coins into the Origami vault, and he gets back a share token. And when he wants to withdraw, the system will burn his share tokens and give him back his stable coins. Now, they will not be one-to-one. So if you put in $100 worth of stable coins, you might get 99 shares or 99.7 shares or something like this. So just know that because these are interest-bearing tokens, that they have the extra yield baked into them. And I'll talk a little bit about it in the future. Okay. So in the docs, they talk about Morpho and Spark and perhaps other lending platforms in the future, but these are the platforms that they're going to use to give you the leverage that you want from using these vaults. Okay, so currently, right now, they're just using Morpho because Morpho supports the USDE stablecoins. Okay. So what it happens? So dollar bills USDE has been put into Origami. He's walked away. He's forgot about it, and now Origami is going to take that USDE and use it as collateral to borrow DAI. And the same thing if it's SUSDE, the staked version. Okay, and then it's going to take that DAI and it's going to convert it into the whatever the underlying token is, and kind of lever this up. Now it uses a flash loan. Like basically, it borrows a whole bunch of US DAI and uses that whole bunch of DAI in the same transaction to buy some of these underlying assets and adds them as collateral. So you can see it's kind of like a looping factor, and you can do this manually if you want, but the vault does it for you. So the end result is like a leveraging up of about 5x. Okay, so borrow like so for $100 goes in, and then $500 is sitting in there, earning some yield. Okay. Now, the first kind of yield we have is like if you had decided to use this SUSDE, then you're going to get some yield. Now, this yield varies; it changes all the time. Uh, I've seen it like around 30 and almost 35%, but when I took the snippet, it was at 17.2%. So basically, if you think of it like you've got $100, but you're earning 17% on $500, that's kind of what's happening. But there is some cost here that will reduce this and even possibly create a negative APY on this. Okay, so the cost usually comes from the borrow interest here. So when you borrow this DAI, you have to pay interest. And then also when it swaps, there's a little bit of slippage or trading fees, as well as the flash loan probably has a fee as well. Okay. However, what makes this thing lucrative is you're earning sats. Okay. Now, what are sats? Okay. If we go to the Ethena website here, we can see it's like a sats campaign. It's basically points that you can earn that will give you a future token allocation of this protocol, which is the ENA token. ENA token. Okay. So as you go down through here, you can see there's different ways to earn these sats. So if you go to money markets, right, then you can see post USDE as collateral on Morpho, 20 sats per day. Post SUSD as collateral on Morpho, 0.5x per day. So obviously you're going to earn a lot more if you use the stablecoin rather than the staked stablecoin. But if you're using the stablecoin, you're going to give up this 17% APY, okay? Or you're having to pay interest on this DAI that you borrowed. So it kind of can come across and kind of seem like negative. But if you go to the front end, you can kind of see here. If you look at this APY and you look here, it says Ethena Sats 173% APR and Origami Vault minus 31%. So as you can see there, they're paying 31% to borrow that DAI, right? And then, but you're getting, 170% APY on these sats. And then down here you see you're paying a little bit more to borrow the DAI, and you're getting less sats because the sat boost for using SUSD is less than using USDE because they want to incentivize the use of USDE out there. That's what Athena is trying to do. Okay, so to make it very simple to understand, you can think of it like this vault's purpose is to lever up and farm these sats. That's your goal. Okay, you want to get these sats converted into ENA when the airdrop season actually ends and that airdrop happens. Now, when that airdrop does happen, any users who had these vault tokens will be able to claim their ENA tokens from the vault. Okay. Now, one thing that makes this thing quite interesting is they have these target and limits and stuff like that. So they've got this bot set up that's kind of watching this Volt and this system, and it will make some adjustments based on what's happening. Okay, so the first thing is if there are some like deposits, then the uh, the leverage will go down, right? Because the assets will be deposited in here, and then there will be less leverage happening over here, okay? Now, another way is if there happens to be some yield like this SUSDE, then, the yield will accrue and the leverage will go down, right? And then also just any kind of price movement, if there is like a price difference movements between the USDE and the DAI, now they're pretty stable, but like in the case of Lido stake ETH, it's always going up versus ETH, right? So as that yield or that price change happens, then the leverage will go down, and then it will automatically rebalance. So basically, what it'll do is it'll take those assets from the vault. And basically borrow some more DAI, get some more underlying assets, and put them in there. So lever back up to that 5%, okay, or that 5x. Now, the opposite is also true. If someone were to withdraw some assets from the vault, or this DAI interest is very high, or the assets of this go down in collateral, then this bot will protect the people and unwind the position. So it'll kind of go backwards through the system. So it'll take that asset that it had in here, and instead of like using it as collateral, it'll just kind of convert it back to the DAI, repay some of the DAI, and then get back have that collateral. I'm not sure if it'll leave the collateral inside the vault so that it fixes its collateral ratio. Okay. Now the last thing I'm going to talk about is these limits here. As you can see, there are these. When it hits this 4x or this 6.2x, that's when it does this like auto rebalance thing. However, if Dollar Bill were to come and want to deposit a massive amount of money, then he would also be like try to it would if he were to try to send it past like 3.333x, or if he were to want to withdraw a massive amount of money and send the leverage past 6.45, then his transaction would revert, right? So basically, if he wants to put in a massive amount of money, he kind of has to ladder it in. He'd have to ladder it in, wait for the bot to rebalance, and then ladder in some more and so forth. Okay, so that's just a protective feature so that nobody can like cause a liquidation or cause some sort of like risky parameter or bad debt or something that by withdrawing a massive amount or depositing a massive amount. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope this has been interesting and useful and interesting. And thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.